Let's do the lips, straight on view. After straight on, of course, we'll move to a profile and then a 3/4 view. We're going to produce something that looks like this. I've got my full array of pencils here, shading stump, Q-tip, tissue, micron, and my erasers, including that. I'm going to use just a mechanical eraser to start with to do my line drawing. I can also use the HB pencil. I've got 2 pieces of paper stacked together. That gives me some padding that I kind of like. Now you don't need to draw the nose. You can if you want. And let's put some reference lines in first. And I say we go straight down between Cupid's bow, right? There's our vocabulary, a Cupid's bow, vermilion border, oral connoisseurs. The philtrum, vermilion border, oral connoisseurs. Our most crisp edge is certainly right there, right? The middle of the mouth is black, it's dark, and that's our 5. And then everywhere else is pretty soft. The highlights are pretty strong edges, that 1 next to the 2s. I'm going to go straight down. This photo, I think, is a bit turned. And I think I'm going to turn it just a little bit so that it's straight up and down. I'm going to go draw a line straight down that way and then perpendicular to it. Like that. Right, so do you see that my axis is a little bit tilted? Axis is tilted slightly that way. So don't let that throw you off. Let's draw our axis here. Nice and light. Yes. Now some reference points. Right there where it crosses the horizontal axis. Right there where the center of the mouth crosses there, and it crosses here and then on the edges. I mean on the oral connoisseurs, right where the fold of those lips starts. There and there. Let's get at the bottom lip where the shadow starts, right there. Let's find one right there at the bottom of Cupid's bow. And how about there, there. Where else? Maybe the highlights, top and bottom of those highlights would be a good place. Let's start with those. I think I'm just going to work left to right. Another one right there. That's where it crosses. I didn't bring that one down, which I need to do. Do you notice how I'm transferring my marks? If you haven't learned this yet, this is so good. It's so important that you get it accurate. So the top of my finger is right on the reference line, and then the thumb, straight up and down nail, comes right into my pencil, and then I can view down to get it in the right spot. Notice those are not symmetrical. Could that be true? That is true according to my reference line. We are going to have an easy time drawing this mouth. That's what I think. Not a lot going on here. And I want to find that one. Moving across left to right. Cross is right there. And then finally the oral commissure. Comes down off the reference line about that far. All right, there's a bunch of marks. I'm going to start with the center of the mouth. See if I can't draw a line that mimics what's going on there. Not a straight line, nor is it a straight curve. Kind of comes up, jogs down, then it starts up, and there's even some bumps in here. And it comes down, comes up again. And not a super crisp line there. It's kind of fuzzy, so about ish. And then here, top of that lower lip, that's where the black is going to be. All right. Now I'm going to delineate lightly, right? This isn't very dark. That's a 3, maybe 2.5-ish. And a white 1, that highlight right on top of the philtrum. So I can't be drawing dark lines here. I need to soften those up, or keep them soft. So I'm drawing very lightly here. And then it kind of rolls down and around to the oral commissure. So it kind of goes like this, and then rolls down like this. This one's even lighter, and that's going to go away almost completely. So just drawing ever so lightly. Now the bottom lip. It curves. You know, I think I'm going to make 2 more points where that shadow stops about there and the shadow stops about there. Those would be good points of reference. And they continue up, but I'm not going to draw them. It's such a soft, subtle line. I don't think I need it. The highlights. I don't think I'm going to draw those in. They're going to be erased right out of my softer values later. So our line drawing is now complete. And now we're moving to general value. Finally, we'll do details. Okay, so I'm going to erase the reference lines and some of those points that are a little too harsh. Remember, we've got to erase these now. And I'm going to use my kneaded eraser because it does a good job of not burnishing the paper. This might be really light for you to see that upper line, but I'm erasing it on purpose so that it's not too dark for what I want to do. Okay, good. Now let's put some darks in, and I'm going to go right to the 5s. Maybe we ought to evaluate a little bit here. 5, and even down into there's 5, and it kind of transitions from a 4 to a 3. This I would probably put at 3.5, maybe 2.5, maybe here, and then 2, slightly larger value here. There's my 1, there's my 1, 2.5, 3-ish. Transitioning down to, this is almost a 1 in the chin, though I wouldn't call it quite white, not like this is, or that. Let's get in there. So I like to put in my 5s first, and so let's do that. And maybe do a little bit of, you know, showing off those texture of the lips a little bit there. On that upper lip, there's some texture. On the bottom, it's quite smooth. Okay, there's my 5. Now I'm going to put in some graphite stick, this softer upper lip, and closer to the oral contours. Notice how I'm putting that in fairly light. And right here gets a little darker. And I think I'm going to use a tissue to get this in here. I want to add some graphite though there underneath the shadow, underneath that lower lip. You know, right, I'm using the corner of the graphite stick to apply this. Good, good. Okay, moving on to a tissue, and let's smooth it out. Look at that. Presto, we got lips. Okay, now I'm going to use the graphite on my tissue to get all my number 2s everywhere. So the bottom lip, I think I'm going to go first. And notice I'm doing this I'm trying to do this in a direction that the lips go, right? There's kind of a grain, I guess, to the skin right there. And then up here also, I'm going to drop in some value. Later, we're going to raise that value with an eraser. So let's get some value everywhere. I'm going to add some graphite because I need more to spread with. Q-tip, so I can get a little more detailed. Right, you notice that darker value right in there, the lower part of the lip, and over to there. It also goes shadowed onto this lower lip. Finding a dark spot on my tissue to see if I can, ah yes, nice. All right, general values are there. It is time for us to move to details, which is to pull those highlights out. Let's put some of these subtle values to give some texture to the lips. I want to bring the point there on Cupid's bow just a little bit more. And watch how, see if I can pull some of those darks up. Give some of the texture of that upper lip. I think that lower lip needs to be a little bit darker too. See if I can introduce a little bit more value in there. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's pull some of the highlights. Right above Cupid's bow there where the philtron is. This eraser seems to be working pretty good. We're finishing up the details. Notice how we got some highlights there, and then also up the philtrum a ways. See if I can softly erase that away. And alternatively, I can darken up a little bit too on those sides to there we go. Okay, now those highlights on the lips. Yeah, I wasn't quite ready for the lips yet. Yeah, that's what I want. See how those, some good stark contrast there. Rectangular-ish, trapezoidal-ish. Highlights because the lips are moist. At least these are. Don't have to be exact here, but I'm mimicking the shapes that I see. There we go. And I think I want to put in just a little bit more dark down here. Smooth it out with my Q-tip. let's do some last more dark. There 8B. Make sure that's good and black in there. Nice. All right. I think we've got it. That be the lips.